Hello, 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 and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you are here today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amber Slocum, and I am a business strategist and a kind of deal with social media and funnels and things like that. Which, P.S., today we are going to talk about social media. So, one of the things that I often hear from people is I really don't know what to be doing as far as social media goes, in groups and in things like that. And if you are posting things and hearing nothing but crickets, this is what you need to hear today. So, a couple of things, at least for me, when I knew that my little guy is old enough to be in school now, so I have hours of quiet time at home, which is great. I miss him dearly, but it is a blessing. However, when he was little and he was home and I was still working from home, which was the whole reason I wanted to work from home, it was so much harder to find an extended period of time where I could record videos. Or I used to do that late at night, which is why I was never live, because my kid would have been in the video with me. Um, if you know what I'm talking about, go ahead and hit like this video. Um, the other thing is that during the day, it was impossible to find 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes or an hour of uninterrupted time. Um, During his nap times, I was usually so exhausted where sometimes I get work done, but most of the time I just tried to rest because he was just going and going and going and going. And once he outgrew the bouncy house, it was like, oh God, let's try to keep him out of the crazy places. So today I want to give you a couple of things, what you can do in 15 minutes a day, or in 15-minute spurts of time. Because while I could not find 25 minutes or an hour, like a power hour, and I didn't have help because we've always lived far away from home until we got here, and my in-laws are younger, so they work. So I've never really had that kind of help. So until he started going to, I could afford daycare, and until he started school, it was all me. During that time, would follow something called the Pomodoro method, but it was a modified Pomodoro method. So the Pomodoro method, for those of you who don't know, was me several years ago, it's a method of taking chunks of time and doing the same task for just that period of time. Okay, so generally it's bouts of work that are bundled into 25-minute increments with a break, a short break after. So it's like 25 minutes and then a 5 or 10-minute break. This is a great way of doing time management, but it can also be stressful if you are trying to write a blog post or something that really takes a lot of brain power and a little bit of time. I don't recommend doing the Pomodoro method for those things. You might try it, but for me personally, I have never been able to write on a schedule. I have never been able to just create images on a schedule, because usually it involves actually researching and looking for images. So that for me is something that I would do while I'm watching TV at night, or things like that. So there's a lot of different strategy tips that I'll come up with on how to get more work done in a day. But for now, let's focus on just social media, and in particular, Facebook and Facebook groups. What can you do in 15 minutes? So I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do in 15 minutes, or 15 minutes a day. Okay. I have a little list, so bear with me as I kind of go through that list. Number 1, personally, I would start with, well, this is number one. You need to know what categories that you're looking for. For me, it's funnel strategy. It is social media strategy. It is business strategy, things, and bookkeeping. Like all of those things come together into this piece of the pie, right? So that's my pie, and then each category is a section of the pie. So what you can do in the search bar, once you get into a group, you're going to pick, I would say, 3 groups that you want to be active in and that you want to post regularly in. You are going to go to one of those groups. Don't try to do all 3 in 15 minutes. Just pick one that you're going to do that particular day. And then if you have another block of 15 minutes later on in the day, you can pick another group. And if you can come up with 45 minutes in a day, fantastic. Like, you will go so far with that. But this is a really good method for just figuring one group out. So let's pick one of those groups. And in the search column, which if you're on a computer, will be on the right hand or the left hand side, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And there's a little search box if you scroll down a little bit. If you are on your mobile, it's going to be up on the top. So you're going to still get in the group like you would, and then up on the top where the band is, there's a little magnifying glass. Click on that, and you'll be actually searching the group. The whole thing is, you don't want to search all of Facebook. You only want to be searching in that group. Okay. You are going to start by searching for your categories. Now, something that I really want to point out very intensely, because I've gone back and looked for my own posts, and oftentimes it doesn't pull the most recent post. So over on the left-hand side, you're going to have like filter your search categories options on the left-hand side after you hit search. And P.S., this is definitely on the computer. I don't know if you can do this on mobile or not. I've never tried. But if you go over to the left-hand side, you're going to have an option to click most recent. And you want to do that just so that you're not getting search results from 5 years ago. And if you're looking for a particular post at any point in time, you will want to click there. And I say that as somebody who was on a thread for promoting my services, and what happened was I put my promotion in the wrong one, thinking that the most recent one would pull up, and it pulled up one from like a month ago. The owner of the group was super nice and said, hey, just look for that new one and put it in there. And she let me leave it in both ones, which was really sweet of her and something she definitely didn't have to do. But you can solve that problem by hitting the most recent one. Cool. All right. Another thing outside of searching for the categories, and I would personally do that pretty regularly, and once you've set, oh, that's what I was going to go through. This little guy was 97 cents at Walmart. 97 cents. If you have a timer already on your microwave or on your phone, you can use that as well. But one of these guys, if you want something separate, 97 cents at Walmart. Buy a couple of them. I used to use these for our timeouts when our son needed a moment. Ooh, sorry. When our son needed a moment, I would use these for that as well, because otherwise he'd peek his head out every 2 minutes. Mom, is it time? No, kid, get back in there. So finally, I got a timer and said, when this goes off, you can come out of your room. Cute little kid. All right, so you're gonna scroll through. Fine. You can also just actually scroll through the group and look at the most recent posts. I'm going to tell you just from experience, social media posts have a lifespan of about 15 minutes. So when you are putting together a post, don't spend hours upon hours writing something or dwelling on it. Just get it out, because it's only going to have a lifespan of about 15 minutes anyway, unless someone is searching for your particular topic. And it's possible that nobody will respond whatsoever, as happened last night in a group with 30,000 people and nobody commented. And my guess is it's because it's such a fast-paced group that it just got lost. So keep that in mind when you're making posts. So number 3, comment, connect, and share. So what I personally would do is pick one of these things, which will all be in the blog post, which will be linked in the description below. You want to pick one of these types of things and do that for the entire 15 minutes. Pick one thing that you can do and do that for 15 minutes. But commenting, connecting, and sharing. You can, as you're scrolling through the posts of the day, put your input in where you can. Create some interesting posts based on, like, do you like coffee or tea? What's your favorite kind of tea? You might find people that are very similar to you and that like the same types of tea, and then you can connect on that. And sometimes I've gone into these groups and asked questions just because I'm curious about what everybody likes. I love discovering new kinds of coffee, new kinds of tea, things I've never tried before, that sort of thing. It's a way to learn about people and learn about their preferences. So what I would highly recommend that you do is jot down some of the verbiage that's used. What are words? One of the best copywriting tips I ever got was to actually go in and look up topics that you're going to talk about and use the exact words that these people, I'm not saying copy their posts, but I am saying use the words. When they are describing the struggles that they're having, they're telling you what they're going to identify with in an offer. When you are asking them or giving them advice after they've asked a question, now you have all kinds of words, because it's the words that you use to describe the solution that you've come up with for them. Those are the things that need to be on your website and your copy. Those are the things that need to be in your offers, things like that. And then I would also take time, and even if you're not actually commenting and sharing and replying, although I don't know why you wouldn't, I would definitely write down a couple of things that you're seeing, especially if they're like repeating questions about a topic. For instance, how to promote a Facebook group or how to get clients in Facebook groups. Start jotting some of that stuff down, especially if it's a repeat offender, if you will, as far as questions go. If 15 people over the last 2 months have asked the same exact question, guess what? This is something you need to master and figure out and learn how to help people with, because it's something that people are clearly struggling with. And I think that a lot of times we are really big on authentic marketing nowadays, and it's been a huge thing for, I don't know, 5 years now. Authentic marketing, authentic marketing, authentic marketing. And it's just kind of, the authentic marketing is no longer authentic marketing, if you will. Just because people are so focused on being authentic and being real that they haven't realized that it's not really real. Does that make sense? I think there's a lot of imposter syndrome out around and about the world today, and people feel like they can't share about a topic until they become a master of it. And I don't necessarily agree with this concept. I think that there is value in talking about things and asking questions when you're not 100% certain on the answer yourself, and getting posting about things and talking about what's working for you and what's not working. Because what's not working could simply be something that you're doing in particular that somebody else is doing, and they can maybe give you tips on how to fix it. So what I think really it boils down to is asking the right questions and not being afraid to share and show that you're human and that you are doing something wrong also, because chances are there's about 50 other people who are also doing it wrong, at least 50, and chances are that there are at least 20 people doing it right and can maybe help you figure out what it is you're doing wrong. And that is the pure definition of authentic marketing, is being willing to say, so sorry, let me back up a second. I was in real estate for many, many years. And I worked at Keller Williams, and Gary Keller, one of the most poignant things he ever said that I heard and listened to and really, really absorbed. And I had heard this prior to that, but it wasn't until he said it the way that he said it that I really took note of that, is the difference between someone who is professional and unprofessional is that a professional knows what they know, and they're not afraid to admit when they don't know something. You don't have to know every single thing about the topic in which you're trying to help people with. You simply have to know what you know and be willing to ask when you don't. And there's nothing wrong with that, with saying, I'm not 110% sure, but I do know where I can get that information for you. Bear with me. It was one of the most powerful things I've ever heard, and one of the most powerful things that I've ever utilized, sentences I've ever utilized. I don't know, but I do know where I can find out. Bear with me a moment. That's it. All right. I feel like that was incredibly good, and that was a really good note to end on. So I'm going to go. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. See ya. Bye.